recently you put out a warning to any EDL members who are currently serving in the armed forces. Do you have a lot of support from people who are still serving in the military?
We have massive support, but massive. But a lot of them are fearful of their job. Again, the government pulling the strings. A lot of them are fearful of their job. Fearful of their job for joining a community, because that's what we are, a peaceful community made up of all different people who want to make a stand and make a difference. And they're fearful for losing their job. And one thing I always said, I received an email from a soldier's wife from the Royal Anglians, and she explained to me what it meant to the Royal Anglians when we stood up in Luton and what weight my name carried in their regiment and to her, and how proud they were and how they want to thank you. And I always said, if I ever feel pressurised, intimidated into leaving or quitting the English Defence League, I will go back to this email sent to me and I will read it again, because we formed to support our troops. We will always support our troops. They get spat at homecoming parades in Bradford and Halifax every year. They get abused. This government are sending them into foreign fields to fight for the British flag and for democracy. And whilst they're fighting for democracy over here, we're over there in foreign fields, we're losing it here. Get our soldiers back, bring them to Bradford, let us, the British working class community of this country, march through the city, and if you need the army to police that hostile, violent community, then you get the army. You don't erode our democracy to mob rule. Because once you start that, which you have started already, how many other towns and cities are you going to surrender our rights in because you're worried if they're right or not?
You'll be going into Bradford soon. Given its history with race riots, do you think it's fair for the media to compare the English Defence League with the National Front?
Of course it's not, no. We're not the National Front, we're nothing like the National Front. We're going there to voice Bradfordians' concerns because they've got no voice, because they're contacting us. They're contacting us saying what's going on locally in their town. They're contacting us saying their daughters are being taken away and pimped and beaten and raped and abused, and no one will do anything. And every time a Muslim's interviewed, they say, I feel it when a Muslim's killed in Afghanistan. I feel it in Iraq. Well, I'm sorry, I feel it when I read a national newspaper and see that one of our youth, a 13-year-old girl, has been purposely targeted by Islamic gangs, and she's been taken away from her family, raped, beaten and pimped out, and no one is doing nothing about it. No one. There's 12 cities up north, in the north of this country, where this is an epidemic. And I think if you could draw the dot to dots, which you won't be able to do because the government will make sure the statistics aren't there to do it, but if you could draw the dot to dots across this country of crime targeted from the Islamic community against non-Muslims, we'll realise a jihad has already been launched in this country. People are being beaten, murdered, raped, day in, day out. The common denominator is the perpetrators are Muslim and the victims are non-Muslim. And you can say, just look at the statistics for prisons, 4% of this country is Islamic, yet 12% of the jails are Islamic. And if you go to, that means a Muslim is three times more likely to break the law than a non-Muslim. The reason for that, they have no respect for our law. They're brought up anti-British law. They're brought up believing in their own law, for Sharia law, which is what 37% of them openly say they want in this country. And we're not encouraging them to integrate. If you're making everyone eat halal food, if you're opening Islamic banks, if you're opening madrasa schools, if you're doing Muslim-only swimming days, what the hell is going on? It is a time bomb, and the clash of cultures, it's inevitable unless these problems are tackled. Unless we can openly debate these issues and people can have a voice, and our politicians will grow some balls and talk about them and stand up for their electorates rather than just bowing to the Islamic community.
Okay, well, most media outlets seem to paint the English Defence League as being Nazi, racist, Islamophobic and against all Muslims. Would you agree with this? If not, why not?
It's comical. And the first time I realised, as I said, with the media outlet, at our Birmingham demonstration, when the Muslims charged through the streets and jumped on people's heads, there was a picture in the Daily Mail. I still can't believe it, yeah? There's a picture in the Daily Mail, and there's a fellow in a green top, and he's quite a studenty looking, quite geeky geezer. And he's on the floor, and there's about 7 Asian lads, Muslim lads, jumping on his head. And underneath the picture, it said, "A fascist is attacked by anti-fascists." And that's when I sat there and thought, oh my God, what are we up against? Is this for real? An innocent young lad at a bus stop has been viciously beaten because of the colour of his skin by religious nutcases, and he's called a fascist and they're called anti-fascists. And any argument, the easy way for the government or the media or anyone who opposes us to deal with us is to try and label us fascist, racist, Nazis. We've caught members of the United Against Fascism organisation infiltrating our demonstrations and giving Hitler signs in order to paint us a bad image. The point is, you just have to come to a demonstration and look and meet the people. Normal people, hard-working people, women, men, gay people, everyone from all different backgrounds and different upbringings across this country, uniting and coming together for a common cause, because there is a massive problem and everyone's feeling it across the country. It's not a phenomenon sweeping the country, there's got to be a reason for it, because everyone's sitting in the same towns and cities across this country feeling it, and people have been sitting waiting for 10 years. People have been saying someday someone's going to do something, something's going to happen. It's happened, it's happening now. It's the English Defence League. You can see we're normal people. If you've been the people sitting on the fences, not sure who runs it, who are they? Here we are, here I am, normal people. I'm not going to ever say I've been an angel, I'm just a normal lad. And we are normal people. We're not government funded or anything people want to say. We're just normal people who care about what's going on. We can see with our own eyes. We've lived it. We've grown up in these towns. Growing up in Luton, I've lived it, I've seen it, and I know what it's like. And something's got to change. And I remember saying once that the next generation of children will never, ever forgive our generation for doing nothing. It is time to make a stand and do something in order to put pressure on this spineless government.